Okay, thank you so much for coming back. Thanks for making time for this event. I'm Shally Verma. I'm the Business Development Lead for Network and Security Services with Rockwell Automation. Um, okay, that's me. So I look forward to working and meeting more of you, apart from the break we just had. But the topic here that we are trying to drive is about OT cybersecurity, and I heard the earlier session, which was the IT security, and wonderful session by Ram, right? I got my attention, hopefully yours too. That's all about IT, right? We've been hearing about IT a lot. We know what is the, what is the reason why we need to be adhering to some quick checks in our IT world. But when it comes to OT, and when I'm saying OT, we are looking to talk about your plants, your manufacturing units, your ICS, right, system. I'm trying to cover this and looks a lot. There must be some busy slides. I might just switch over. But we would want to know why we are looking at OT cybersecurity. That's what we are trying to highlight here. Many of you already agree to that thing. You know about it, and that's why I'm assuming organizations here have already implemented controls in their OT environment as well. But nonetheless, it's a topic which is today a boardroom topic. I was just conversing with somebody today, and it came up that today it's not just left to the ground team or the plant team. It's all about within the management. I mean, it's a focus area. Yes. So whatever you're seeing on the screen is probably a dated survey. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is very recent. But what is interesting is to know that how this spectrum or the landscape of threat has actually, I would say, disrupted, so to say, every manufacturing organization today. Yeah? It's interesting to know that if they were told about 43% at that point in time, it is much more today as we are speaking. And this is something which Gartner placed up last year, sometime, to tell us there are various phases in which a customer would want to be, embarking on the cybersecurity journey. And this journey, I believe, goes hand in hand with the digitization, which we've been hearing since morning, right? Every customer today knows the importance and the relevance of having digital transformation. Now, when I say I have to be, digitally transformed as an organization, I suddenly realize that, I have to also be cognizant about the security aspect. We heard about zero trust zone and a lot of other, I would say jargons that you will hear about security. But have we even started on it? And this is where this Gartner story tells us that the moment a customer goes on this journey, there's a pause which he takes, after phase 3. 90% of customers kind of go, oh wow, my attack surface was not limited to what I had visibility to until yesterday. It's much larger, it's much broader as a spectrum, and I need to cater to it. And how do I need to do it? That's where all this confusion occurs, and we say that this is where we ask you to make sure that you are talking within your teams and ensuring that your IT team is always aligned to what are the needs of the OT environment. Unlike those two, tussling around as two pillars who never meet or converge. So this is where IT and OT convergence becomes very important. We know about AIC, CIA model and how it kind of differentiates, but we also know that we cannot undo many things in the OT world, right? Unlike IT. That's why it becomes even more critical and even more, meticulous planning which is needed to go ahead into IT and OT convergence and eventually going to your digitization journey. So we are saying that please facilitate those discussions within your organization, right? Have the right task forces created within your organization. Have the IT and OT team come up with whatever analysis they have had of their environment and then create this organizational structure which matters the most. Do you already have somebody appointed in your organization responsible for anything going wrong tomorrow in your OT environment? If not, yes, then please create that, identify that person. That person becomes the most important person. Another story or another snippet from Gartner told me that cybersecurity is not just limited to now the security guy. It's the organization's goal now, right? So the attention has to be coming from all the way top down, going from the bottom to the top, whatever you may call it, but all those tabletop exercises, everything that needs to be done in order to know that how much are you covered in terms of risk. That's very important as a takeaway that I would take from here. So we are saying nothing can be done overnight. unlike IT, has to be a phased manner, a plan which you create along with the right stakeholders, ensure that they are aware, that awareness needs to be spread out. And this is where we say that each organization, doesn't want to invent the wheel again and again, right? So we are saying if you are a single site customer, you also might be a multi-site customer. So whatever you do today in one site, you would want to keep it standard and leverage it to scale it up later, right? You might not want to have, or you might not have at all the budget to do it all in one go. That's where we are saying go small, but then start somewhere. And this is where we say Rockwell believes in the NIST framework, right? The NIST framework is one of the globally accepted frameworks when it comes to cybersecurity, and we kind of align to the 5 pillars here. We're talking about identifying, detect, protect, respond, and recover, right? The 5 pillars of the cybersecurity framework. Now, there are many, variations in your program that you might want to take. You can be clearly just a cyber risk informed program that you might want to adopt. Literally hardly any investment per se. When I say investment, yeah, monetary is one of them. But you might want to have it, something done at the ground level with the people within the organization. Let's make them aware, and what I was hearing earlier in the morning, like, what is in it for me? That's a question which begins from your plant operator to all the way to your CEO, right? How and what benefit does this change, which is not so acceptable in OT environments, right? Everybody is averse to change. Something was working for 12 years right without touching it. There's a sticky over there, do not touch. That's the board. That's how you maintain security so far. But maybe today that's not the place where you want to be because you want to reap in the benefits of digital transformation. So educate them, make them aware, make them responsible for whatever you are conducting within your organization. Right, so you could be at a place where you're just risk-informed strategy, right? You're developing a base story, you have your policies, your procedures, how you will, SOPs coming into play. That is all which you do internally. You could also move into a phase where we say that now you need to be in a repeat mode. So any customer, any vendor today cannot really promise you 100%, that you're covered and nothing will happen. I would not do that, neither would my peers, I guess. So that tells you this will be an ongoing process, right? My cyber threats are not the same as they started with Stuxnest. Now today there is many more variations. Ransomware is here to stay, right? We heard from Ram earlier also. Ransomware has changed techniques, and so we are always playing catch up. So it would never be a place or time when you can say that you are fully, you're foolproof of whatever you have invested in your business. This will be an ongoing process, and you need to keep repeating it every time with more sophisticated technology, but maybe with the same set of people. Those people also need to be, I would say enabled or made competent to work along this timeline of what your organization is going through while you are transforming digitally. Okay, and the last that we have the 3 models that we kind of prescribe. The last one says adaptive. So nothing is constant. We are saying that you've modernized your plants, you've connected the dots, now you have data to make informed decisions, but can you stop there? No. You will again keep adapting to whatever new incidents that you keep hearing today. As on today, one of the biggest, I know, and that comes from Delhi, we have been hearing about AIMS, right, a lot, 7 days in the going, and they did not know how and what happened. Finally, they kind of come out to say, maybe this was a ransomware attack. Maybe, still not alleged ransomware attack. So nobody wants to go through the pain of, 2 things. Definitely it's about your brand. You need a lot of intelligence to come out of an event if that had to happen. The time and the money that you spend to come out of an event is more, than whatever production losses you probably incur, because that anyways will happen. The reputation piece is anyways going along, right? Both of these things. So where do I really get started when I talk about OT cybersecurity, right? And this is where we say we are just pointing out in a couple of steps, and you can start or you can be in a different journey altogether. You could be somewhere in the middle. Your maturity is absolutely different from an X customer to a Y customer, right? Too much, you always have too much security until you don't have enough. That's one CISO telling us earlier. and something which Gartner also published. Another latest report from Gartner, if you see, they have a very nice, snippet where they see a CISO of an insurance organization saying, I am all the time thinking about security, not even when I'm at work. That's probably an occupational hazard. I don't know how many of you relate to it here, but that's something which is important, that if you're always at the back of your mind responsibly, thinking about security, that nothing should go wrong, something which does not keep you awake in the night, then that's where you've invested right, correct? And so we are saying, please ensure what do you have in your plants? What sort of assets do you have? Do you have eyes, visibility to what you are exactly going to protect? Unless you know this is there, you don't know a method to actually protect, right? We are talking about a lot about patching, right? Whatever you have should be updated, should be the latest. You should keep it up with whatever is changing in your environment, all to the level of the store. So whatever material you have in the stores, you should have eyes to even that. Tomorrow, if you need to replace any part just because you know it's in the store, might not be the most latest model that would work, right? So here we are saying, please assess your existing setup, assess your risk posture, assess your assets, assess your vulnerabilities, right? There are various sort of assessment services which you can actually look for through your vendors, and Rockwell also does one of those, right? We are looking at second piece, which is strengthening your access policies. And in IT, I heard in the morning, this was about having SSO, making sure you have multi-factor authentication. Maybe not at that level that we might have reached, but there's a lot still that you can do with your, Active Directory implementation. You could have segmentation, the DMZ layer that you create, right? Making sure that you have all those controls and checks and balances in place. So once again, we are looking at network segmentation. Let's have a broker in the middle with a DMZ layer, saying that this is only what is going to go out to my enterprise layer, or vice versa. Make sure that you have the right authorized personnel, right, doing the job. We are also looking at something called as monitoring. Now, on-prem services, cloud services, there's a lot of, there's a vast difference in how they work, and many customers don't associate with cloud. Fair, but then how do you actually then do it in-house? Please make yourself aware of, moving into mature solutions like a threat detection solution, a continuous threat detection solution. Looking at how you give access to your third-party vendors. When they are accessing your systems, is it really something which is safe and secure? Utilize, the teams or your own vendors and question them that, what in terms of security are they providing to you in terms of both products as well as services, right? When I say that you are looking at anomaly detection, then you also have to make sure that you know what is your correct baseline, right? What is your acceptable behavior in the network? That's something which is done through a deployment of CTD solutions or continuous threat detection solutions. Further, we are saying you have the product, you have the technology, you might not have the people, and that's where maybe outsourcing stuff or outsourcing these jobs might become important at the moment, looking at the huge investment it brings in. You might not want to invest, but then utilize this to see that how you can probably have those eyes monitoring 24/7, giving you an alert immediately of anything going wrong. If I talk about just a CTD solution, and we at Rockwell partner with Clarity, we partner with Cisco, various others, and we say that even after implementation of such large solutions, there's a huge and a heightened need to maintain that solution, to get the return on your investment per se. How do you know that that solution which is there idly sitting is being utilized to the fullest, right? That's where we pitch in to say that we also provide managed services capabilities, which helps you even manage the life cycle of that solution, so that whenever need, you are upgrading to the next level seamlessly, right? So here we also provide solutions in terms of managed threat detection solutions. We also have an OT SOC today operating outside of Israel, right, where we manage and maintain the environment for the customer. We take logs, encrypted, there's a tunnel created. All those things can be worked out, but do not shy away from, asking your vendors of what best they can provide. That would be my say. Now, if I have to go further, we are saying, be ready to respond. Please keep your task forces ready. Who or is the right person or the Spock who needs to be connected to once anything happens or any alert is triggered. Identify that team. Between IT and OT, you could have a cohesive team working with both the engines coming together, which is your IT team as well as your plant team. Respond, recover. We are looking at what happens to you once you are in a cyber event. We don't want to be, but then there could be various instances, your bring your own device could throw a challenge there. Your third-party maintenance program could throw a challenge there, and you might be in an event. That's where you need to know that how do you recover from an event, and if you really have any incident response program right now today. Yeah? So, develop a security state of mind. When I say this, I believe most of the organizations here, almost 90%, should have this in their mind that it goes by organization. It does not get limited to one process or plant. Eventually, it's the people that needs to be brought up. They need to be, enabled to make decisions and have the right knowledge of how to act, right? So be ready. It won't be same. Whatever I'm speaking today might not be same tomorrow. It's that ever-changing landscape of threats. So it will be different. Many facts thrown here, 61% of factories experienced security incident in 2021. Ransomware alone, between the years 2017 to today, has more than 600 plus of attacks which they have been successful. And while I talk to you today, they are still doing something in the world somewhere, right? That's a known fact. So let's finalize that, there should be somebody or a vendor that you work with who meticulously works hand in hand and goes and takes you on the journey of cybersecurity. When I talk about what we do at Rockwell, I just wanted to, quickly show you this is largely what our solutions, encompass of, and there's a lot of more that we are building. Today, we are providing solutions in network, we're providing solutions in virtualization, right? IT, it's not a new concept when it comes to virtualization. We have virtualization provided to customers sitting outside here also in the name of virtualization, right? You should have your threat detection solutions implemented and also manage the entire platform. We believe no customer has a single vendor, today you are a multi-vendor organization. And that's how all services and products should be automation agnostic. That's what been our mantra, and that's how all these solutions are available to, talk through you. Some of the partners that we talk to and work along with, we just listed when it comes to virtualization, we're talking about VMware, we're working with Panduit. CrowdStrike has been our latest partner, with endpoint protection solutions. We are also partnering with Dragos when it comes to incident response management. And Cisco anyways is a, a partner that we've been working with for the last 15 years now, yeah. This is just one quick one I wanted to show, and it relates to the industry that I'm talking to today. This is a customer, spread across 64 sites. 2 of them are in India. And here this customer, unlike, many things happened during COVID, right? Organizations were building COVID line, a new factory, and how to get access. This is a project which we got much before even the COVID time. And they worked with us to, understand their supply chain, how to standardize, reduce the cyber threats, and ensure that this was happening in every site across the world. So obviously 64 sites were not kicked off in one go. There was a planning done, prioritization that which sites go in phase 1, then in phase 2, and then in phase 3, right? Each sites which were planned were all, carved out after doing a feed study for each site which gave them insight of how their control LAN today looks like, how their machine LAN looks like, and how they can be migrated to the latest, how to make them Ethernet based. All that stuff happened, and over and above this, also the threat detection solutions, right? The threat detection solution was implemented, the USB cleansing device was implemented. A lot of things, bits by pieces, they've all got connected to make that comprehensive solution for the customer. We have today this customer, 2 sites in India which are managed again through our solutions, and they have been an ongoing customer with us so far. It's a very, value story that we bring here is, I believe with this pharma organization, they had various elements. There was a thorough study done, and that probably gave them the right insights, a thorough assessment to tell them that where in security today they are, you know, the security posture, how is it laid out to them. So I think with that, I'll just probably leave this to your, you know, reference, whatever you may call it, but there's a step-by-step approach that we follow and we recommend to our customers. Yeah, that how you probably from the strategic review that you start with, all the way go to make a roadmap for yourself, which could be into smaller chunks of like, you know, just something which happens in a year, short-term goals, and something which pans out to all the way 5 years, right? Which tells you that this is where you will be at the end of 5 years. This is what's the plan. And in this journey or in this path, in the midway, there could be various reasons why this program might need to be altered, right? There needs to be adaptive to whatever is available and whatever change in the cyber landscape is happening, right? So this is something which we talk a lot to our customers. Each challenge that we have seen or have experienced with our customers is something that is listed here, and how we help you counter and what capabilities we bring in, that's also listed here. I'll go back to a saying which a former Cisco CEO, you know, Mr. John said, there are two types of companies, right? One, who have had a cyber attack, and second, who probably still don't know that they have been attacked. So I would leave you with that thought. Maybe you just need to ponder more, sleep over it. That probably will give you some good insights of where you are today. Just to make a note, if you go to Rockwell Automation, there's a link where you can press and assess how you are placed today in your OT security. This is a link which will be available. You can always do a check, and then you can come back to us if you want to talk in detail. We'll be happy to entertain you on that discussion. Thank you so much. Thanks for my active listening there.
Thank you so much, Shally. Thank you.